Once you have a super agent, and if you have not well thought out, it can do some weird stuff too. People got in trouble. Their computers are just going autonomously and doing things which could put them at risk, right? Mm-hmm. There are things which can go wrong, and they did go wrong. Once they went wrong, Cloudflare came out immediately and said, hey, by the way, you can run all this. Don't run it on a local machine.
So yesterday we were talking about Cloudflare, right? And how Cloudflare, like their stock went up 20% in the past 2 days. So let's just talk about why that happened and what has AI got to do with it.
Okay. So Cloudflare as a company is the firewall of internet. Some ways I think of it as it's the true firewall of internet. Lot of traffic. I don't know the percentage. Somebody could Google this or find out. A lot of traffic for a lot of websites goes through Cloudflare. A very large amount, right? In fact, our own all apps and websites and everything, we put the DNS on Cloudflare for that reason. And what Cloudflare's business model has been traditionally, and they give out free DNS hosting, and it's a pretty good DNS hosting, and for everybody, base level. And what they do there is that your website's traffic goes through them, and they can detect malicious traffic and stop that malicious traffic for you, right? And base level, they
To the site, it asks you like checking you are human and it's the Cloudflare logo.
If you try to log into a lot of places, you see this, right? Are you human? That comes from Cloudflare, even though you're logging to some other site, but Cloudflare comes in between. So that's Cloudflare. Now, what Cloudflare, by doing that, what they did was by giving it away free, that level of service is brilliant. Because if somebody wants to detect bad traffic, it needs as many sites as possible, right? Because sites which are trying to go and do bad, it's usually the same IP trying to do it for many sites. So they can detect patterns, right? And I'm oversimplifying. There's a lot more goes behind it. But simplest way is that if somebody, a malicious agent, starting from an IP and trying to hit every site, if they have many of those sites going through them, they can detect that pattern. And then they can block it. And after that, they can block that IP for everybody. They protect everybody, right? That any traffic coming from that completely blacked out cannot come to any sites which is with their DNS they have. Now, for the companies who are really looking for next level security, they offer many more services, but the base level they can offer for free because they're leveraging from your data basically, right? Of saying that how the traffic pattern is. So if Cloudflare goes down, I mean, a lot of sites will go down in many ways, right? Because a lot of traffic goes through them. So that's the Cloudflare has been doing traditionally. Then they added the next level service they added, and I've been fan of Cloudflare for years now, and we've been using it. Then and to me, I was very excited when they actually added domain registration, and they do domain registration at cost, which means whatever the ICANN service, which is responsible for doing the domains registration, the government requirements and all, whatever is the charge, they don't charge anything over there. Because if you go through GoDaddy or any others, they charge whatever charge they want. Anybody can charge any charge they want for registering domain. But underneath, they're using the registry service, which the governments control, right? The ICANN is the body, actually. It's a nonprofit body, I believe. So they control it. So they do it pass through, no charge, additional charge. So it's the best possible deal. And you get the DNS automatically. If you're registering through them, DNS automatically comes through. So they started doing that. Then they started saying, oh, you want serverless solution? You want codeless execution on their servers? They started offering that very recently for AI. In some ways what Replit is doing and others are doing. So they started offering a bunch of stuff, and this is Cloudflare, much more trusted and secure, right, for everything. And that's what they had already started doing, and they do it through containers. You can execute any code, which is Dockers, which is actually other thing I absolutely love. We implement as much as possible through Docker containers, because Docker containers basically allow you to do the development locally on your machine. and that same container can run on server. So when you're testing as a developer, the reason it is like you never have to worry about, you're controlling every variable. So if it works here, it'll work on the server too. So you never have to worry. I mean, like taking it from one to the server is like really easy. So they do it through Dockers. So all this they were already doing and doing amazing job. It's a, it's a technology company, really deep into technology, right? Used by people who understand technology and work with technology. It's not kind of it's consumer facing company. Anybody can use it for registering domain, but usually used by developers and others who know more about that, right? What they did was basically they kind of build this open source for everybody, and we'll talk about that in a minute, and gave it out free and named it CloudBot. They started development on it on 2025 kind of a thing, just launched it. They've been working on it. And they just, this is a agentic platform which is available with the code. You run with your LLM and do a lot of agentic work with it. And they made it compatible with lot of things. Basically, their magic is you're running a LLM somewhere on a machine, which you can choose, but you can talk to your LLM through Signal, WhatsApp, or through messaging. So so you are talking to your LLM remotely and ask it to do something on your behalf. That's, that's in a simple words, if you want to understand, that's what that does. And they named it CloudBot because kind of they were using Claude, actually is a great one for agentic work. And then they Claude, CLAWD, and of course they got cease and desist. I mean, they claim a friendly notice. Actually, it was a friendly notice from Claude that, hey, that's infringement. You cannot call it CloudBot, even though it's spelled Claude. So they panicked and went on their discussion channels and discussed with everybody and said, this is like molting, so we are moving, and they named it Moltbot very quickly. This was like a very quickly, within 24 hours, discussing with their own community on Discord, they came up with the name Moltbot. Then they realized that's probably not the best name. So then they finally got the domain. They went and quickly acquired the domain and everything and they named it OpenClaw.ai. That is the better name. That's the official name. But they went viral so quickly that even now, if you search, everybody search for CloudBot. Yeah. So OpenClaw is the current official name. I think it's a cool name, right? And because it's open source, it's available. The code is available from GitHub. You can download it and install it, right? So what has this got to do with Cloudflare now? So what this got to do with Cloudflare is, when CloudBot was launched, people started running it on their machines. It's a super agent which does a lot of stuff. So once you have a super agent, and if you have not well thought out, it can do some weird stuff too. People got in trouble. Their computers are just going autonomously and doing things which could put them at risk, right? And people did get into trouble. Enough people got into that kind of issue, and then people realized, oh, you cannot. Everybody started buying a Mac Mini, and their sales went up. Buy a Mac Mini, install this, and put it on the side. It's a cheap way to run it independently, and that program is running continuously and can do all the work for you. You can remotely reach out. In fact, we were at that event, and I was saying we met some people there, and we could have, if I had the agent running with CloudBot, I could just get their name and tell the agent, just send a message to, OpenClaw and say, hey, find out everything you can about this person and give me a summary while you're meeting. And in fact, if you were using any kind of AI glasses or something, it could probably show you the data about them, right? So there are so many things you could do, right? While talking, you could find out about the person and appear intelligent about them, right? So things you could do like that, right? That's a simple application kind of a thing. But there are things which can go wrong, and they did go wrong. Once they went wrong, Cloudflare came out immediately and said, hey, by the way, you can run all this. Don't run it on a local machine. You can run it in a container on Cloudflare, which when you run it in a container, it is secure. It can do only so many things because it has access to just that container. Now, of course, they didn't talk about that. It cannot work with your file system and things like that. There are limitations now. It's working in a closed environment. But safety-wise, it's great. it will only get access to what you gave. It's not going crazy through your computer and going to your home network and doing everything bad for you, right? And that got people excited that, hey, Cloudflare has this solution and this is great, and they're already offering this. So their stock jumped up. The reason, no, I mean, in some ways, great. This was a foresight from kind of a Cloudflare to have all this. But reality is, Cloudflare is not the only player. You can run it on any server, basically, right? It's open source code. You can run it anywhere, right? And Replit has its now. Replit is in the game, and they're saying here it is. Basically what they have done is the ones who were already offering these services, now they have one-click installs. Click, and the whole GitHub repository comes in, and everything is installed for you. And they've started doing that to make it easy, right? But the Cloudflare has this additional advantage of they are known for the security. They are, as I said, firewall of the internet. That's what I call it, at least. So they are known for security, and they know, they basically work on the edge if there is a problem, anything coming in. So they will know more than the others, right? That's our assumption, basically. So that's where that's the reason. So that's the story behind the thing going up. So it's security, basically. You have such a capable thing, but how do you make it secure? And there Cloudflare comes in and makes it secure.